Good evening. Today is April 20th, 2023, Thursday, and it is now 6:01 PM. Board of Health meeting. And whenever you're ready, did you want to take the roll call?
Yes,
Yeah,
let
you
me,
can get a minute,
you've
that's
done,
okay. I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, you want to take the roll call? Oops. Oh my God, my pen works. Okay. Everybody else?
all right, you
Pen?
want to sign in first? I'll sign in.
Thank you. So as Martha Santos is on vacation, Daniel's going to be,
Yes, I'll conduct a
Substituting.
roll call for our
Okay.
Board of Health meeting here, April 20th at 6 PM. Can I- Roll call, Nicole Duffy,
yes, here.
Anthony Pastali,
He's excused.
Daniel Grabowski,
Here.
Paige Zudka,
Should
You're
that?
Polish,
Shuka.
you should know Shuka.
Jasmine Quinones.
Here.
That was pretty good.
Not to go with Spanish either.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And we're not waiting for anybody, right? Emily's not coming, right?
Emily's not
Okay,
coming.
Okay, just want to make sure. I don't want to start.
Maritza's on
Maritza's
vacation.
on
Yeah, she's on
vacation.
vacation, yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we can start with agenda item number 3, accepting the meeting minutes. I've read them, she did an amazing job with them, but I do probably have like 2 minor questions, so I'm gonna wait for her to come back from vacation to ask her about that.
Okay.
So I do wanna table that just because
You
of
want
that.
to-
Yeah,
Okay. Both, what I have here is the
I believe that was the February 16th minutes.
February
I
16th,
believe. if
that's correct.
Okay.
And I have a March 23rd.
The March
Is that
20
correct, that you received?
Yep, the March 23rd
I was
is
just asked to
fine.
have the signatures, but we're gonna table both?
No, just the 16th.
Just the
I'm
16th?
fine with the other minutes. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we're fine with the
We'll take a-
20, with the 23rd.
Were you fine with the 23rd? Okay.
And, I'll second it so we can,
Yep, thank you.
Yeah.
what's that?
Figures like you were moving it right along.
Thank
You know, moving it up.
Sorry.
No,
To
not at
come
all.
work.
Yeah, so it's just-
PMH,
So
it was-
it's just
I
the February
used to work with
16th
the
minutes that we
February
need, yes.
16th.
Yeah, that's it.
We moved things right along.
Yep.
DMAs could be worse. Depends. Subject matter.
Yeah.
Agenda item number 4, citizens forum. There's nobody here.
No, but pretty nice day
We're
outside.
moving right along.
I'll just wait one more minute just in case somebody
Sure.
straggles, because that seems to be the theme of the day anyway.
We're all going
Skip
to
a
the
minute.
DPW meeting, which is.
Yeah, they're all
That
looking
one.
for that, yeah.
That's a big one.
What's that for? Department of Public Works. Right, but what, like, oh, I don't know.
Or something.
That's the budget.
Subcommittee,
So it's a subcommittee, there's 4 other ones going on as we speak.
this planning and subcommittee.
You know, Thursday's the hot day, so.
It is.
Do you wanna give us the COVID stuff? We can look at that while we're.
I'm gonna wait no one more, yeah, that's awesome, good idea, thank you. Thank you. We'll just wait until 6:06 and then we'll go, okay?
Geez, so.
Thank you, David.
Wow,
Way down, like,
yippee.
he'll go up.
I will. As time goes on.
It will.
That 50 to 69 range, boy, that keeps constant almost all the time, huh? I mean, I'm in that range, and
That's been
that-
affected most,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
all right, time is 6:06, so we're going to end citizens forum. Take a motion to end citizens forum. Anybody want a second?
Sure.
Okay.
I second it.
Thank you. So we just move on into the COVID update, right? So just take a look at this, yeah.
That's what we've seen.
You could see, yes, that's as you see.
Yeah.
Speaks for itself.
And that's good that they have
Infection.
the flu in here too.
Yes.
That dramatically changed, did it not?
Absolutely.
Oh my God,
Good to see.
that's
That
incredible,
was
yeah.
not a fun flu.
That's incredible. Anything that you wanted to make mention of regarding COVID or even the flu or anything like that?
I was just pleased with the trend that's in decline in both diseases. And I do have to commend Brianna,
Yeah,
our
she does a great job,
epidemiologist,
yeah.
doing a great job.
Yeah,
It's the
numbers.
data and the numbers, the metrics.
Mm-hmm.
And most pleased with the levels of flu, March and April, 0. And the numbers are-
Really?
Yeah, I know, I was
Yep.
looking at that, yeah.
Yep,
From March and April especially, right?
that's right.
That
And it
changed.
declined from December on through to February, and that
Mhm.
declination, it was, at the height in December 75 down to 26. And then 9, that's an exponential decline, headed in the right direction. And again, just to reiterate, March 0 cases, April 0.
The weather though, right? Has something to do with it. It's been seasonally a little high,
Many things, there's a lot of these factors, absolutely.
And also,
But you know what, but if
it's only
you-
reported.
But even if you look at
Only
the last
reported,
April
right.
and May too, it's interesting
Good point.
because still like last April and May, well, May especially was pretty high
Yeah,
last
right.
year.
Oh, look at that,
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's interesting to kind of see that.
This season's flu was much earlier and last was later.
Yeah, yep,
That's what-
yep. I was just gonna say that, and in my mind too, it's almost like the kids'
Interesting.
February vacation, everybody gets sick, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I was
saying,
surprised.
Like that, like this, it's gonna change soon.
Yeah, but it
because-
seemed like it went earlier, like you said, it like that
Yeah, it
whole
was
November,
definitely hitting,
December,
right.
instead of the January, February, yeah.
And with this upcoming change
Yep.
in temperatures and up, down, people,
Oh, yeah,
Look at
definitely,
Australia's
yeah,
data.
absolutely.
If you look at Australia's data, you'll get the right, oh, sorry.
Yeah, Australia,
That's how
Australia,
they get their numbers. I choose
the metric,
That's
the
yeah.
metrics from Australia.
Yeah.
that's right.
Even by how they create the
So
system.
good data.
okay. Does anyone have any questions or
No.
input about that, about COVID or anything? Okay. I think we're in a good trend right now, knock on wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Daniel. And, okay, agenda item number 6, old business. So we're gonna go in the blight update. I do wanna make mention, almost all of them actually, I took a ride around town and checked them all on the list, so I appreciate that email.
Sure.
So I checked most of them actually, and,
That was good.
yeah, so,
We've added a couple more.
yeah, I know she went to 11, so yeah, so
Yeah.
there was a
Now
couple on
we're
there.
on 12.
Oh, you're on 12 now? Now you got another one, okay. Just not to go out of sync, but where's the 12th one?
It was just added to my board. I'll share it with you. I have a board in my office where we're keeping track, and then I
Okay.
send out.
Okay. Okay,
But the point of the matter is that this list may expand, and that's indicative that we are monitoring and heading back to locations that have historically had problems, or have just been put on the wayside, left undone. So I wanted myself and the team to reinvestigate these locations and get updates, which clearly we are. Now, the next plan that I have intent on instituting is, we have a new treasurer that just started today, a new department head. And I do want to speak with her in the next coming weeks pertaining to these blighted properties. And the reason for that is to get clear answers what the status may be with unpaid taxes, liens, etc. Many of these locations that I know of have not had the taxes paid, and no action really initiated.
Right.
And they're left there. So with that hope of having a discussion is to see what the town would like to do and get them auctioned, because they're just sitting there idle. Many on the list that I have received, discussions and further inspections are going to take place where
yeah.
they're able to be remodeled. And
I just want to interject, just want to mention that on, I remembered, Andy mentioning, the one on Thomas Street, and that was on your list. And that-
Yes.
Yeah, and that was one of them that I went to. What I wanted to ask, if you have the information, is that, where were we at that particular one? I was just curious.
Is that the small?
Small
Tom?
tiny
Yeah, it's,
Small,
yeah.
and then there's a
because-
field right
Yeah,
there?
because I remember he was talking about last time about the whole auctioning, you know what I mean, of that. So I didn't know, like, it sounded to me before like we were closer and that one than the others, but I'm not sure where we're at with
This
that.
is where the process will get more analytical, and we're pulling in, like Julian, the building inspector. And we really wanna look at it is, can these locations, these properties be rehabbed?
Right,
And to a level, anything can be rehabbed
yeah.
with the right amount of money.
Well, he
But
was-
what's really
Well,
reasonable?
he was talking about that one, it looked at that point that was probably a really, a good pick to
That-
rehab, so I didn't know where it
At
stood now.
at that point.
Right.
That, right now,
understand
that's
that.
contradictory, because I went out there a number of times and he gave me an update that, it would take a significant amount of money to
Okay,
rehab it,
to
because of the
rehab that.
fact that the foundation needs to be redone
Okay.
completely, no saving it. Which would mean the entire building structure being lifted up and foundation you poured.
Okay,
Okay, which would be much more costly than the house would even be worth, a dwelling.
right,
Not small. So that one, and not to say it couldn't be done if someone was,
okay,
or some entity was really inclined to rehab it for purposes. But that's what we really want to reevaluate and reassess as to the locations, which ones we deem that can be rehabbed, and which ones, particularly, the brick row,
brick row, yeah.
brick row, that should be demolished. That one is on my first list to be demolished, the brick row.
Yeah, that I went to as well, and that's in a really dense.
It's
Where
dense,
it's
it's swaying,
situated,
there's a
yeah.
tree growing out of it. I have not
There's
been
properties
inside, but
behind it and-
I've
yeah.
been told
Yeah.
of
And
the
it's a really
significant
odd area,
deterioration.
yeah.
And with that deterioration over the years, it's gonna jeopardize anybody being close to it. The road, you're right, it's right there. The abutters are very close,
Yeah.
and we're
There's
very
one
fearful
right
of
behind it, and
possible
there's one right on this
collapse.
side. It's close proximity to the other
Yes,
building here
yes,
and in
and
the back.
if
yeah.
it moves a section or the entirety,
That's
could-
an easy if something falls out. Yeah,
we're
something
concerned with
crumbles
that.
without one. Yeah.
So,
So that's your one, number one to what? Brick row?
Brick Road to look at demolition.
Can I just ask, are all these houses on the list, are they all condemned?
They are not.
They are not. Could you identify which ones are condemned? And then also just, are all of them owned by the town, or any of them owned by the town? Because to me, then those would seem to be the first line of action.
They are. The ownership
Good
is,
question.
that's what I said. If they're owned, and many are on this list,
Okay.
okay?
'Cause I'm just
If
curious
they're
that-
owned,
yeah.
what is the town doing?
Right.
If they're not gonna take the initiative of rehabbing it, the deterioration is on, it can't stop time.
But I get what you're going with.
Right.
Like also
Bottom
I'm
line,
thinking
if
like a
we-
line item around the, like a budgetary item around demolition and every year.
We do have
or,
that. We
like,
do
what
have that.
looks like and
Yeah.
We do
identifying.
have that, so to identify, and that's where that discussion really is gonna take place of what's the stand of the town, particularly with the new treasurer,
Right.
getting the auction done. Now, my understanding is because we did not have a full-time treasurer, it was just put on the back burner, so to speak, and never dealt with.
Right.
And then it just said over a period of time, things just get worse with these vacant
Right.
buildings. But the ones that are pressed to have them auctioned, and with the emphasis that they're just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
And what's the level of risk or threat to the public that they pose? My job. And I'll reiterate the one on Brick Road, the one that it's on my top list. I felt that takes precedence and
No,
needs to be
and I
addressed.
agree. I agree with that one, yeah, I do.
How much is in the line item?
So I've discovered this that
I know,
Ryan.
because I know you're, so I'm just.
Yep, yep.
And if you
No,
know.
that's fine.
All right.
I do. It's $180,000.
Okay, so kind of one a year.
Well,
Sorry, but that's the way it is.
Yes
I'm sorry,
and no. I
But
think
also,
I-
the auction money, that could possibly go into that.
it
Yeah.
could with that
For
that
council to see.
180,000, and again, in theory, we believe, in conjunction with the building department, that it may be able to support
Oh.
three
That's
demolitions.
wonderful, okay.
Possibly,
Small.
but they, again, the company that would do this would not know until they investigate, do the tests, and it could go from 60 to 80 quickly. It could be 40, but we're just using that as a base, 60,000.
Well,
Now,
and with prices rising, I
prices
can imagine,
rising,
you know,
right,
like
we
when
do,
I'm
you
taking all
know,
the,
till you do one,
yeah, yeah.
so one at a time.
Gotcha.
But with the amount set, we have the funds there. Now we just, my understanding, me being new, and
Me too.
is that true? So we're in the same.
But we're both watching.
We'll make it work, and that it also needs to be approved not by just the Board of Health, here, but the town council
Okay.
to have that money allocated for that purpose.
Mhm.
But we do have it in the line item, and that's where I wanted to bring this to attention to the board. Particular ones that we're going to move on. For
Right.
instance, Brick Row, I would like the full support of the Board of Health, so I can bring that to the town council
Well, and
members.
that's, you know what, because a
you
lot of
know?
these have been on there for a long time, and that's why I wanna move forward with
Yeah.
that.
Sure.
But, you know, to
And make a
Paige's
plan.
point, you know, that's interesting to kind of separate right now, like the whole, all right, which are owned by the town. I mean, it seems to me that, you know, that's something we can move on first, you know, since they're already in our court. Like,
yep.
that's not questionable.
Agreed,
you know what I
agreed,
mean?
agreed.
Right, and I think what would be helpful is if we make a list of, okay, bottom line, what are the barriers that we're looking at? One, what's in our ball court now? I understand we gotta wait for the treasurer. Obviously, we have to wait for the, you know, the approval, but they're waiting for us to give you the support and with the go-ahead
Yeah.
to put that on the table.
Perfect, yeah.
So, I didn't know at this point in time on, the ones that are on your list right now, anyway, are there any ones that are already in our court? In other words, like, you know, they're already owned by us, you know, they're,
You know, honestly, if I would, looking at that, and I would say out of the 11 that I sent
yep,
at
yep,
that point, I believe 5 are
okay.
owned.
Okay.
Is one of those 5 Brick Row and the one on Thomas Street?
The Brick Row is, and
Okay, it is
yes,
us,
I believe
okay.
so.
Town owned,
Um,
okay.
That's good since it's causing risk.
Now, the here's
probably one of the
and
oldest ones on there.
I don't wanna.
That's okay, if you can, just wanna
misspeak.
double check it,
You
it's
know, I
fine.
will double check on
Okay.
it. The one on Brick Row, which I was more concerned about, has a condemnation, was condemned 3-4 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that condemnation placard is still there. So,
And you said it's also provide or as potential risk to the road.
I look at risks.
And the-
I look at
exactly.
that, and
And
then
that's-
everything else kind of comes to
Yeah.
play. Who owns it?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, heavily
Yeah.
count on the assessment done by Mike Julian to say
Mhm.
whether
Yeah.
it could go to auction or tear down. Now, with this location, it has been condemned for years. The law, the housing code simply states 1 year after condemnation, the Board of Health has the right to condemn if
Mhm.
no actions are taken. That's it, and that takes precedence.
So,
And if
It
we
supersedes
health and
everything
safety
else.
around it, then
Health and
yes,
safety.
then-
So-
or-
And so,
would it
Absolutely.
make sense if we start with the ones that are already condemned at this point, right?
condemned and owned by us, yes.
condemned
That
by,
would be the
by us.
easiest.
Right, I would
There's
assume, yeah.
condemned that have just been left,
Right.
right? We have other ones that are just sitting idle in the process. They've been left, they're condemned, taxes haven't been paid, now
Mhm.
Right.
what's gonna be done,
Sure.
right? And that's
how-
where
how-
there I want to initiate that process and see where we can get through this list one at a time, find out
Mhm.
everything that we need to take our time, be diligent, and
Right.
and start processes. Because again, emphasis that I want to bring to the board, they're just sitting idle, and they get worse and worse. And I've been told to bring them time.
All
Their
right, all right.
age is just getting to them, and
One thing I want to make mention about the Thomas Street location is that when I went by there, there's a lot of little kids in that area.
See, that's another danger.
And I noticed like right at the front, like it's very close to the sidewalk and the stairs. I mean, I can eat. There's kids behind. When I was going, there's a whole bunch of kids and everything. Almost kind of having a cookout right behind there.
All right.
There's kids over here, kids over here. That's a very busy street, and it's like, you know what, that would be. I mean, so
That's on
that would be a
Thomas.
top one that I'd want to know
Okay.
if we own. You know what I mean? And
Can you identify that first? Could you like make a column with the 12 that you
Right.
Yeah, I could do that.
So do
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
own and what we
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
are in process, and
Yeah.
also what's condemned.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
then
sure.
it would be a
That'd
good.
be easy.
Maybe
You know,
we could bring it up.
I'm getting, I'm
I understand.
gathering all this information
Yeah.
and with the hopes to be in a line like that, knowing
Yeah.
exactly,
Right.
going to the right people, yourselves included, to make these decisions, right? And
Yeah.
I agree, and we've taken those factors. I've been out to that one, that field right there, a lot of activity, children playing. Several of these that I've been out have been boarded up, and we just had a recent one. What I gave you, 530 Tipton Rock
yeah,
Road.
yeah.
Okay,
I didn't get to see that one.
That's way far away.
so it has
Oh,
good
is that-
potential.
I get to- yeah, it was
It's
out of the
not to
way.
the point where it's going to collapse, but there's certainly a lot of structural deficiencies, and it's been compromised. But
So
we
is it
boarded
far
it
away
up.
from anyone?
It's there's some room. There's in that way. If you know that road, it's a country road. There's no one really close.
I'm just thinking of young people in a place staying out and risk. That's all.
But there is a barn there too that's worse than the house. I said, and again,
that's
I was out there with Mike Julian, DPW. That one again just left. It'll take some work, but it's got potential.
Okay.
All right. So that's where we are with
So
the blend.
let me ask you
We're doing
this,
this.
so between you and what, after you spoke with Mike, whatever, are there any like, ones that really come to mind that you're really more concerned with than others, other than what we just talked about?
No, I would reiterate that one. Those two.
Brick Row and Thomas.
And they're on the top of my list. The other ones as well is, as I've constructed this, I've also been informed that there's been some renovation or people have taken action, new ownership,
Mhm.
and taking
know
a little
what,
time.
though?
So it's underway, which is good, and we're hopeful. So
Actually, that would be another good list to make, actually, ones that are being worked on. So if we could actually make a list of what's condemned and owned by the town, and then another list of, hey, what's being worked on, you know what I mean, at this point.
yeah, I could do that easy enough, or ones that are just condemned and still not
Just so we
taken
can start
on a
really moving
process.
through this, you know what I
It's
mean?
So-
like,
Yeah.
I need-
I've got to reach
that's our
out, and I'm
job.
going to reach out and get clarification. Now, again, we have a treasurer, that's a goal of mine,
Yeah.
and we have a solid team. Not here today, but we're all gonna, and I count on them to give me real world advice and input, and also a history. What's going on, going through the
Of
files,
course, yeah.
right?
You better hurry. A lot of people are.
Yeah.
How much history left?
So, but it has to be done because we wanna, we wanna just really not even mitigate, we wanna negate these risks. And we wanna get this list down where it's acceptable, and that's really my plan. It is going to involve demolition or in hopes of taking these properties and selling them off through auction. Town sees no other avenues to take for them.
Well,
But again, your thoughts, if you guys would like to share, I mean,
After no, I have nothing.
I think we share.
I've seen both houses that have to get knocked down, that's all. As far as the kids around Thomas Street, you can't do anything about
Until
it.
it's
That's
not
what's gonna happen, until
Yeah.
someone gets hurt,
Yep.
then they're gonna
Yeah.
come after the town for
Yeah.
not doing something.
Yeah, so that's really-
That's where it's at.
Yeah.
that's really a concern of mine, yeah, definitely.
You can't construct, you can't tape it off.
Yeah.
no.
Tape doesn't do anything,
No.
you can't fence it
No,
off.
that's actually an invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Attractive, yeah.
So
like,
if we
ooh,
can make those two
there.
lists, but I also would be interested, just because instead of waiting for our next meeting as well, like particularly Brick Row and Thomas Street, we could really jump on that in the sense of we can find out at this point in time, are they both condemned? Are they both owned by the town? I mean, if you don't already know that, check it out. If that's the case, if you can just,
Well,
and check with the
and I will,
treasurer with that,
I'll,
yeah.
I will be able to get the team together, not only the health department, but the building, review the files, and I was also interested in taking a field trip.
Okay.
Now, this was just a brainstorming idea where I had idea of the health department / board of health, building department, and any other official that would be interested, fire, police, in conjunction with town council or council members. And it's time to really address the situation
I'm gonna
here.
bring it to the
And
board.
because everybody has these specific questions, Daniel, what's really out there? And many of those I have not gone to. I've just constructed this list and reviewed some files, but I want to see with my own eyes and again reevaluate to find the files. So that's the plan of action again. But I will definitely be able to get a list together to clarify
Yeah.
ownership
So-
status.
So I'm thinking
Condemnation,
three,
yes.
so if everyone agrees, or I'm thinking three things at this point is, the first thing is, making a list of the condemned and owned by town. The second one is making a list of the ones that are currently being worked on, whether they're town-owned or not. And then the third thing is to really push Brick Row and Thomas Street to, after finding this out,
To the council to get it
yeah, to
approved.
push this, yeah.
To sand
Yeah.
Okay, now with that said, can I ask
You agree
the,
with that, Dan, too?
What?
You would agree with that?
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm
absolutely.
sorry,
What-
Mr.
What's that?
I'm sorry I was talking with when you were talking.
No, that's okay. I didn't even.
no, it's good, it's a healthy conversation.
Sorry,
So
go
with
ahead.
that said, I would ask the board members right now to officially add their input and statements concerning Brook Row, because that is the one concern.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that substance to go
Right.
and move forward, your feelings, and your decision on that. Mine is to demolish the property
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
And just, I'm assuming, but I know you said that Thomas Street is condemned, correct, at this point? Or, I know you said the foundation is not,
I see,
Oh,
I will
Yeah, sure.
double check that.
Okay.
It has been boarded up by the town.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I assume
Oh, yeah, I've
the
seen it all boarded up,
condemnation
yeah.
was conducted.
yeah, when you drive by, it looks
Yeah.
like
And,
it, yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago. Am I correct to say that?
Years, yeah,
Years?
yeah.
Okay.
Dan, I'm gonna be known as the cleanup man.
yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. It's not-
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with it because the properties, others have looked at them and they, now it's inspiring them to look at these lists more and seeing the potential there is, if in fact it can be rehabbed, resold, etc. Something done with it. Instead of sitting there idle and posing a risk and a threat.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, but those two, yeah, definitely, those are concerning. So if we can get that, that'd be great.
I will get that to you. I'll
Great.
start working on
Thank
that.
you.
A good list, and we can.
So many
Revisit this
properties
next
that
time.
we could rehab into other things too.
Yeah,
because,
yeah, yeah.
Other businesses and housing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know,
And if that's how the board members feel, certainly.
I hadn't, you know what, and
I agree.
I meant to go check it, I didn't, but they were, I think I mentioned in the other meeting, the one at Hamilton Street, one of them anyway, Hamilton Street, looks like they were like doing some work on there, which is great. I need to go back there again to see how it's coming along.
And-
But it was nice to see, that something was being
There are
done.
South Street property. There's others on the list. I wish I could.
Oh, you know what I wanted to ask you, and you
clarify.
probably haven't been there, but I had trouble finding the one indicated in South Street, actually, where it was located. I was looking for the number, and it was almost like,
Yes,
the
I
numbers
have-
jumped.
Yes, they do. I found that
Where
on
is
the
it?
It is. There's a coffee shop right there.
yep,
The gentleman had come to our board meeting last time.
I
There's
know,
a
yep.
building there. It is like a green, dark.
is it right next to the coffee shop?
It's adjacent to it. Half of it is commercial, and then
Yes.
upstairs
I see
residential.
what you're talking about, yeah, okay,
There is work going on. It was bought. It was on the list. Bought by someone local, and now it's in the process of being worked on.
Oh,
There's
okay,
been
okay.
activity
I
there
just,
with
I
contracting.
just wanted to know where it
Yes,
was. I
and
didn't,
that's
I
the
couldn't look
one.
at it, because I didn't know where it was. It was like, there's no numbers on there, and I'm like, which one
That's
is
the
it?
problem. No, and I didn't
Where
know
is it?
either.
really
pretty
weird
large
setup.
property. But that's one that was on the list, and then, the departmental staff came to me and said it's being worked on. I went out there,
Yeah.
saw work.
Okay, no, I just wanted to know
Notified
where
the
it was so I
building.
could look at it, so now I know.
So the good
I'll
things,
look.
things are being
Okay.
worked on continuously, but others are just left idle.
Okay,
Get that list.
Yeah,
go out
just-
there,
yeah,
and
the
if
three
there's any
thing,
more,
yeah.
we certainly will take a look.
yeah, make those two lists, and if Brick Row and Thomas Street, you know, meet that criteria of, yep, they're both condemned and they're owned by the town, just to see what our next step could be with that, and then we can at least be prepared and
Yeah, make a quick
make something
decision,
happen, you know? We can either say, hey,
I'm good.
yeah,
Now, what will they do once it's demolished? Like, it'll just be up for sale, the land, the plot?
So, probably more.
My understanding is that
So many developers now looking to
Yeah.
like invest.
that option is frowned upon
Um,
in town, last resort. But I think, again, to go Brick Road, the last resort's here. Okay? Just the risks outweigh, you know, there are issues of leaving it just a parcel, you know, enough standing. But nonetheless, things have to be done for public safety, as we all know.
Sure.
Which takes precedence, and the sentiment, which again I hear from many people, is if it gets to that level, it needs to be taken care of. Questions arise: why have we got to that level?
yeah.
As I said, Brick Row, 3+ years since it's been condemned.
Yeah, that's been
And it's
there for a
only
while.
gotten worse and worse. Obviously, when you have a tree growing out in the middle of it, goodness knows what that can-
Yeah,
So,
yeah, okay.
that's
fine.
my update.
All right, so, yep, so why don't we get those lists and see where we're at with Brick Row and Thomas Street, and, you know, so we can decide, you know, so we can get moving on it, that'd be great.
Okay.
Anyone else have anything to add before we move on? Okay. And the next order of business is the ongoing discussion on community mental health needs. Anyone have anything that they wanted to share or add, or questions or concerns or anything like that? No? Jazz, you good?
Yeah, I'm always good.
That's your realm. I did want to make mention, though, that I think that, I would like it if we could all kind of like, kind of keep our eyes open if there's anything in the community, something, again, like activities, you know what I mean, that they could do. If we find something, to reach out to, you know, Emily, so she can add it to our page.
I
Just
have a
because it's
family
spring,
fun day
it's-
coming June
Oh.
24th.
Awesome, family fun
Like
day.
stuff like that, you mean?
Yeah,
And I
hold on,
need volunteers too.
family fun day. June 24th, you said?
Yeah,
What is it, is it fall on a Saturday or Sunday, Jan? I can look at it.
Saturday.
Okay. Well, if
And
I'm
to-
free, I'll volunteer. Where are you gonna have it and stuff?
And I always have it at the Common.
Where?
Awesome.
The Common, South of
Common.
Common,
I'm gonna put that on my calendar.
police station.
Oh, I know what comment is.
Yeah,
I didn't know what you said, that's all.
June 24th. Okay, I'm gonna put family fun day. Is that gonna be like a, kind of the whole, like around 9 in the morning, or just a general-ish?
It's up to me, nothing would ever be happening, but yes.
Amen.
Yeah, I think I did like,
Your family fun night.
yeah, exactly. I think I did like 10 to 3 or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay,
Like, you
yeah, just so we know, yeah.
And
Awesome.
so this is an event that I've been throwing for like the last 7 years. In town, it's free. A bunch of resources.
Awesome.
Free food.
Okay.
The Spanish truck, the food truck, that Taino truck.
Yeah, awesome.
Who's gonna be like doing food? I got some hot dogs from Delicia's, the Spanish restaurant
I love
on Central
them.
Street.
Oh.
There's a young man that sells hot dogs out of a cart. He's saving money for college because his parents own the business, so he doesn't qualify for like a lot of like FAFSAs and all that. So he's bought himself a hot dog truck to save up money for school. So he's gonna, cut us a deal. At the ice cream girl, like always, there'll be activities and DJ and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just really, it's free, all free.
Awesome.
It's just a way just to kind
Yeah.
of.
No, that's what
Go
I,
out,
you know,
you know,
it's,
and just
the weather's, getting
be part of the
beautiful and,
community.
this is great, for people to come out and,
Learn
get
about
connected.
different things that are
Yeah.
going on in
Yep.
the community, and
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love to see us have a table there. You know,
Yeah.
how people can learn about the Board of Health more, and that we're just not about, what people think of, and, maybe have some kind of a questionnaire as to what they would like, what they feel, so that we can, maybe address them here,
When are you gonna have like you're still putting it together at this point, do you have the flyer ready?
I do, actually.
Awesome,
I do,
okay.
I really do, and I had like a volunteer pack and like a sponsorship thing.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
You know what, send those
It's in
both,
it's in my car.
no, just email those both to Emily, so that way she
Yeah,
can,
it can actually, yeah.
we'll look it over, and, I'll have, Martha look it over and everything, make sure everything's copacetic, and, yeah, that's great. Yeah, just, again, just things so people can, again, kind of connect and, again, speaking about the mental health, the whole isolation, the whole, connecting again, and I know, and I'm gonna check with Emily, I know that, the rec center, Mike puts out, there's the walking group that we have, and I saw at the library, there's a whole bunch of, I think it's almost like, it almost seems like once every week or something like that.
Oh, the Southbridge Trail.
Yeah.
I
So
saw
I'm gonna
some
check
of
with
it.
Emily, if we don't have it on there, I'd love to add it, you know what I mean? To just connect with it.
I get vouchers for a camp called Camp Wonderland. They usually give me like anywhere from like 5 to 6 sponsorships per season or whatever,
Okay.
for like families and like individuals to go to Salvation Army camp, like overnight camp and day camp.
Oh,
and all
nice.
that. And I don't know what time I know we're still in April, but it comes out soon.
Oh, good, yeah, keep
And
us
then,
posted,
we
yeah.
could, maybe
Yep.
divvy up some of them or whatever,
Yep.
and if anybody knows about
Yep.
families.
I'm gonna,
And I put email M here.
awesome, and I'm gonna ask, the other Jasmine, see if she may not, but the whole yoga thing. She's
Oh,
she's
she'll do
thinking
yoga
about doing that
at
again.
she'll do yoga at the event.
Yeah, but I didn't know if it was gonna be like any type of regular thing with her or anything like that. I didn't know what her
yeah.
plans
I
were.
haven't heard anything from
Yeah,
Jazz about it.
so Jasmine Rivas, she was doing free yoga
Oh,
at the Common, pretty much.
Yeah. When she was working with
Yeah,
with me.
yeah,
Yeah.
so-
We have actually, it's funny. We haven't even talked. We talked about so many things, but we haven't talked about that.
Yeah.
So,
No, I know, life's moving too fast for all of
yeah,
us.
we were just in Philadelphia too. Like we
Yeah.
didn't even talk
Well,
about it.
and again, with me, I was looking at something like, yoga, I'm like, oh, wonder if Jasmine's doing that.
Yeah, I
And
know.
I'm like,
It's
oh, make a
just-
note of
it's
that,
just
you know what I mean,
really-
and say, yeah.
Time's just moving
Yep.
way ahead. of
But,
it.
yeah, take advantage of the nice weather that we have, that's why I said, oh, we're gonna do yoga again, oh, there's any functions going on, it's
Yeah.
like, the trails, that's great, all ages.
mhm.
I love the walking group, because again, it's like all ages, it's free,
We got
people
the
meeting each other,
Beautify thing
Yep.
going on.
Yep. So definitely. Yeah, so if, like I said, if anyone comes across anything that, hey, that'd be great, whatever, just, email the group, you know what I mean, and take a look, and we'll forward that to Emily and Martha for their stamp of approval, and have Emily post it.
Yeah.
Seems like a good plan. Alrighty. And, we just segued right into the Beautify at Southbridge.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Agenda item number 7, beautifying Southbridge update. Yeah, so I plan on volunteering that. I don't know if anyone else here is able to. That'd be great. Or if you know somebody,
Sorry.
all in. No, I know.
That's a
I know you
Dana-Farber
can't.
day.
I know you
What
can't.
is it?
That's supposed to leave to go to Dana-Farber that day.
Yeah, she can't go. Yeah, but
Another
if
month.
anyone knows anyone too, you know,
Wow.
you just bring them.
I can say the interest is building.
Good,
Being
I'm
my
glad to hear
first
that.
one,
And that's a
but
Yeah.
we're heavily advertising.
It's very good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, we saw.
I
the
was
other
on
email.
TV.
Oh,
did
Denise make me go on
Oh,
television?
nice.
All right.
Any effective means we can.
Nice,
And
nice. Yeah,
there's some signage out.
I like
Yeah.
we're doing it twice
Yeah.
a year.
So
yeah.
Great.
yeah, with that said, I think it'll be a good turnout.
Should
Yeah.
be.
No, that'd be great.
And then I emailed them about the snacks.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because work's gonna donate those.
Fantastic.
Oh, you
Yeah.
said that was nice of you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I think it'll be a great event.
Yeah. And I was talking to our steering committee for the town, well, you know, for you Inc. and other
Oh, yes,
businesses about it, and, you know, to hopefully have their staff reach out so they can volunteer.
The Southbridge
That would
Business
be
Park.
awesome.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
And the Rotary Club too.
Good.
I
Oh, that's
told them,
awesome.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Yeah, I posted those in a couple different places too, so, and I've been letting people know. And, yeah, I saw that, the recent email from Emily, she was a bunch of people on that. I didn't know the names. I didn't know who she had sent those to, but that's great. Just like letting everybody know.
And let us know, if you wanna email us target areas, you know, hotspots.
Oh, I'm watching as I'm driving.
There you go. My understanding is.
They're the usual.
They're the usual, yes,
They're
but the
usual.
volunteers would like to know,
We pretty
you know,
much know
that
where they
day
are,
of,
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's T-shirts too, right? Is that?
No, we didn't have any T-shirts. No, they have the they just have the bags, the gloves, and they've got the
The little
picker upper
pickers,
thingies. Yeah.
yeah, the grabbers, we
exactly.
got some
You
new
used to have
grabbers.
T-shirts.
right? I feel like I went to one when I was younger, and they were like T-shirts.
Yeah, that missed the line item.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah,
Save it for them.
That missed the line item. Yeah, exactly. What was I gonna say? Yeah, so that's great. If anybody knows anybody, that'd be great.
Looks great.
Let's see. Okay, so agenda item number 8, discuss whether to amend the current regulations on tobacco use, including restricting youth access on the prohibition of smoking bars. I hate to ask to table it again, just because I want Tony here, and not to jump ahead of it, but just so you know, he's given me a couple dates that, you know, he can definitely do, and we're gonna choose from there. And
What
finally-
dates? What dates?
He's
Who's he?
Tony.
Can't have everybody show up all the time. I mean,
Well, that's why I had
because I
asked.
almost didn't make it today. But, I mean,
Well, yeah, we've
you
spoken.
know what I mean?
No, we've
You can
spoken.
speak to him all you want. Eventually, you can't wait for Tony to show up. Either you're gonna have to make a vote or not. If you're waiting for him to show up, just him alone, then there's a problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I mean, I don't know, Tony hasn't made the last 3 meetings for some reason. You gotta wait for him to show up. Because everybody can't make it, because Paige can't make it next month. So if we make it down, we're down to 4 again. I mean, that's what I'm getting at. If you wait for one specific person, then you can wait. That's what I'm saying. As far as this, I didn't know what's exactly this mean. Because you can't keep, in other words, the drinking age is 21. But people at 18 and 19 can go into a bar room without being 21 and not drink. That's what I'm trying to get at. So if we're saying anyone that's under 21 is a youth, that's not accurate. Anyone who's under the age of 21, as I said, can go into a bar as long as, no one says you can't go in because you're an adult. So I don't know how we're gonna keep, in other words, you can't get into a bar unless you're 18 or older. So how do you, smoking bars? Are we talking bar rooms themselves or smoking places?
So we're talking about tobacco, first and foremost, and I think
Because
the
some bar
smoking
rooms,
is to
because
21 now, right?
clubs can smoke, as we went with Dow's place. The only places
Okay,
that,
it's a hookah lounge.
there's
That's what
only
I-
one, right?
Yeah.
There's only one in
No,
town.
no, I think private clubs can smoke,
Right.
right?
that's
Yeah,
correct.
so that
And they
will be the
are.
only,
Like
if
Eagles.
they will
Eagles,
be the only one. They will be the only one in town, the only smoking lounge.
Redmond, yes.
That's specifically a smoking lounge. There's a difference between a smoking lounge and places where they allow smoking.
Right.
Right.
So are we saying we're supposed to keep these people out or you know what I mean? Because how are you gonna regulate? You can't keep them out.
Yeah,
As
no,
long-
it's,
as long as they don't, in other words, if they go in and they smoke, and the person who's giving them the smoke, allowing them to smoke is in trouble. The bar room or the smoking place can get shut
well,
down.
the bottom line is for this one, this is basically talking about whether, yes, we want smoking lounges pretty much in town. That's basically what that is. So that's what we're
So that's what smoking bars mean. 'Cause
That's
I look
right,
at it
'cause
as
that's-
bars, as bar rooms.
Right, right, so
Can I
it's a
ask
smoking
Sarah,
bar.
it's including restricting the youth age, so that this is about, period about smoking bars, or is this just about youth going into smoking bars?
No, this, I know it looks a little, confusing because the restricting use says that on the, it's just because that's the language that's used, that's like the whole, it goes with it, that's why it's
So the
on
intent
there.
though is to have a conversation about smoking bars in
Just a
general.
smoking bar in general, exactly. It's not regarding just the youth, or, you know,
And-
it doesn't mean that, oh, you're over 21, or you can, you know,
Right,
because 21, the 21 years.
right, that's it, that's
yeah,
almost
it's not
like, so
even
you
that.
would like to remove, let's see, the intention is, so, to talk more about smoking bars, or, and what we wanna do, or to amend the rules?
So this language that you see right here, this is already what we already have in there.
Right,
That's
right.
what, that's the current language, that's what was pulled out of there.
Mhm.
So that's what's already there, so,
And it's wrong though.
It's wrong.
Yeah, and so that's
So-
what the confusing part is, that the language really is just
well.
a little
it-
antiquated.
And yeah, it's antiquated, exactly, that's been like that for a while, yeah,
Right.
exactly. But the point of this being was the whole
Is that
yay or
something
nay about the
that
smoking bars.
we, that
pretty
we
much.
want to continue to bring
Right.
into town?
Right, so it's like at this point in time, you know, we said, yep, okay, you know what, about the permit with that,
Like
but.
cannabis, like do we want to build another 6 cannabis places?
Yeah, so it's like at this point in time, it's just a matter of how, we can always change a regulation, we can always
Yes, more.
we can always create a regulation to say, no, we don't want smoking
Right, in
bars
the
at
town of
all.
Southbridge, right?
Exactly.
That falls
So
within
that's-
the state regulation.
Again, you're right, the language needs to change, that's kind of like the catch-22.
But that's gotta go to the public vote. Just like when we have marijuana, they have to go to a vote. In other words, this has to go on a ballot. We just can't decide you don't want smoking. This has to actually go on a ballot to have the people
I
vote to
believe
see if
so.
they want those here. In other words, if the
So-
town wants a smoke lounge and it goes to the ballot, they can have it, just like with the marijuana.
Listen, I like a good glass of wine and good smoke, so I'm with me.
I mean, this would have, whatever we decide has to go to the town council, and then if they vote on it,
Right into third
then it
phase
has to go
here.
onto the ballot.
It's your level of saying,
Well,
right?
this decision actually is ours at this point. So this is here basically just up for discussion. We haven't gone past that yet. This is
Right.
just the discussion part. This is
And
the
then if
whole.
we're like, hey, we don't want to, then we would figure out what the next steps are to bring up to
Right.
legislation, I guess.
Right, so that's the discussion. We're just
You know,
going
the
too
Board
far
of
ahead.
Health feels that due to health and safety and, blah, blah, we don't really want to promote these type of businesses anymore, or we do, or we just leave it alone. I don't know.
Because the bottom line, there are towns that do have in their language that nope, no smoking bars at all.
Right.
And there are towns that allow them, and there are towns that restrict how many you can have. So it's
Same
not
way
a cut
everybody
and
can have
dry,
a
you
liquor
know what I mean?
license
It's not a
or-
cut and dry thing, exactly. So that's, again, that's our realm, it's our choice at that point, and we can go forward or not with that. And it's just, that's up for grabs for that. So
I
that's
think
all there.
something that would be very interesting would be to see some statistics around youth smoking. And is it something that, I mean, we know it's a problem. We're not, listen, I got a
Yeah.
16-year-old, they ain't gonna tell me
No.
nothing, babe. So, but are we at a place of, education? Are we in a place of banning? Are we in a place of a common, just to see what our...
Well, and and that's another point though, which actually I was gonna bring up, is the fact that if you even wanted to, we could invite the Tobacco Alliance, pretty much. They're the ones out of,
Oh, the
Lester.
people came?
the ones that came before, yeah.
They're no longer conducting services at this point.
Oh, they were removed from our,
Basically,
I thought we voted them in. Oh.
what we did, funding
Was
issues,
removed?
Mhm.
Oh,
That's
no.
unfortunate.
They get funded by the
Yeah.
state.
it may come back.
So
It
right
may,
now,
but the-
right now they're not actually even doing any
Enforcement?
enforcement at all?
Education,
Oh, that's
no,
just awful.
no,
No,
but
but
it may be just temporary.
Right, but the
Uh,
thing is we could still invite them
Sure,
here
sure.
to speak on that, you know what I mean, if we wanted information, you know what I mean?
Well, it's pretty
Well,
common
this is gonna be
sense.
scary in
Well, if
town
we,
now.
if we had, you know, specific
be
questions,
scary
like, you know,
in
she's
town.
going, it's like we can ask them, you know what I mean?
Selling right
As
now.
far as, you know, their
We'll have to take
experiences.
that on
I don't know if
ourselves.
they've had experiences smoking bars, or who knows,
Not about this way.
who knows?
You don't want no
I
trouble.
know. I have ideas on that myself.
I was just telling Lawrence, I can only imagine what's going on in some of these convenience corners now, if
That's
the
not
words
great.
got out.
Yeah, exactly.
But with that said, I mean, compliance enforcement is my on my agenda and on my to-do list for the summer. I have experience in it, with the exception of actually going out in the field with minors to do that. I'm reluctant to do something that, but everything else, compliance check, you can do.
Yeah, that's gonna be some
And-
extra
and we
stuff,
will.
because
Yeah, but
that's where,
that's-
that was their realm, that was something that they
Sure.
did on their end, so.
I can't speak on again, historical issues ranging from non-compliance to the need for education. But it will not fall on the wayside, and we'll,
Good
that
work,
responsibility will
Jessica.
be taken on this summer.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
okay. All right, so, I'd like to make a motion to table agenda item number 8 to discuss whether to amend, again, to discuss whether to amend current regulations on tobacco use, including restricting youth access on the prohibition of smoking bars.
So you wanna discuss this at another time, is that what you're saying?
To table it, yep, for the next time, yep.
Why can't we talk about it now?
Because we wanna get some more statistics, like more information.
All right, that sounds fine.
Okay, fair enough.
Then I'll,
Got it.
if we're waiting on another person, then I'm
Nope,
not gonna.
we're
I'm
not
That's
waiting
not
on
the
anybody
I'm not
but
gonna vote
ourselves.
for it.
No, that's not the only reason.
Well, it's one of the reasons, and I'm really upset about, that you're waiting on one member. One member's holding us hostage. All right,
No,
I make a motion to, table this.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Are you
The, yeah, you're
note
gonna,
taker?
you're gonna take the
Who's
vote?
saying
Yeah,
gentlemen?
so you're gonna say yeah?
Page.
I think she's gonna.
It's
look
been
at
a
the video
while.
And take notes.
Yes, she will. She will. I was stuck in thought there. So
Go down the list.
let's go down the list.
read our
Jasmine Quinones,
Yeah. Yes.
Daniel Grabowski,
Yes.
Nicole Duffy,
Yes,
Paige Zutka,
Yes.
okay.
Shit.
Shutka.
Just forget the Z.
Should go.
Apologize. I will work on
It's
pronunciation.
Shoot.
Okay,
Okay, agenda item number 9.
that is again to reiterate the table for next.
Yes, to table the next, yeah, that's correct. And, agenda item number 9, to discuss the process of issuing permits to determine if this is to be amended. Now, is this something that, we want to table as well, or is this something that we just want to,
Yeah, I think this just kind of coincides with.
that's my
Yeah,
feeling.
but it's a different thing. I mean, you're actually, the process, you mean, so that Daniel would require the Board of Health to be part of the process of allowing this type of permit?
Changing the process, so it basically,
Is that on
my,
this particular item or on all items?
all new use,
All new use?
all new use. And again, that doesn't have to be new use, that's just my take on that,
Uh-huh.
like,
That's what I'm trying to
my
understand.
feeling is, and that's why in the last meeting I'd asked, to be realistic, I asked Maritza, I'm like, you know what, how many permits do we get, you know, I mean, how
Yeah.
many? And she's like,
A
pretty much
lot.
we get a lot,
A lot.
exactly, so that's not realistic.
No.
But, you know, the concern was more the new use, you know what I
The
mean?
new use just for smoking?
No, for any new use business. So any new use business to basically, just for us to know, all right, what is it? What business is it? You know what I mean? So if we have any concerns or questions, that's the time, instead of, you know,
Oh, I see what, what's
allowing
going
a
on now.
permit,
Sure,
you know what I
sure,
mean?
sure.
So we
There's
know,
6
and,
pizza licenses, or you know
Yeah.
this, or yeah, I get
yeah,
what's
it's
going
just, my take is
Just to be on the know.
specifically new biz.
In
you know what I
case
mean?
something
New use.
that applies to
Right.
the Board of Health, we can speak on it.
If there's any concerns or issues that the board has, we're not gonna know that until it's on the table, you know what I mean? But if a permit's already given, you know what I mean, before we get a chance to say anything, you know what I mean, that's my concern, you know what I mean?
So we're talking about things like, new issues for restaurants,
Like if
No.
they're gonna have smoking, or if they're gonna have.
well, what
other-
exactly for the Board of Health? 'Cause
A
they
new type
manage
of
the-
business,
A new type
a
of
new
business.
type of business.
So not like, septic things or
No,
all the
no,
things you, okay,
no.
I'm just thinking of like odd or
No,
complaint, okay.
no, it's like with the smoking lounge, that's a brand new use, there's no other smoking lounges, we don't have that, that's a
Okay.
brand new thing.
So then a restaurant's not a brand new use, so therefore it would go.
Right, exactly.
Alright, yeah.
Right, exactly, that's how I'm feeling anyway, so I'm not sure how everyone else
Sure.
feels about
I
that.
might wanna understand it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So new use is one thing,
Yep.
but to slow down any other businesses doesn't make any sense to
Right.
me, right?
Right, no,
It would be, however, really interesting to know if we have new businesses coming, just by, you know what I mean?
and it would be,
That would to
exactly,
me,
yeah,
I mean,
exactly,
because
yeah.
it's like kind of, I know, and it wouldn't be very hard to keep track of.
No, their interest is there, and particularly with the.
And that's why we're bringing it up, exactly, so.
The cannabis,
Yeah.
the move is on to have in the state the cannabis use lounges where you can vape and smoke and utilize in that kind of setting, like the old Amsterdam
Oh,
bar,
yeah.
coffee bars, right?
Goes on right to-
So it's a combination of having drinks, particularly espressos, coffee drinks, while you partake in smoking cannabis.
Zoom, yeah.
It's new. All in a sit-down environment, and
Right.
that interest is growing, and it will be there. Certainly, that's one I can.
So see,
identify.
that would be a better take than to talk about that in regards to the last conversation. To me, I mean, because like knowing that that's what the intent is coming. Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, that's why they kind of go hand in hand, and that's why
Yes.
it's kind of confusing, that's why it was confusing before, because
Okay.
one kind of goes into the other, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So that's my thought on
We
that.
tabled both of these last time, so I don't know why, I mean, we discussed this, why we have to do this.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm asking right now, do people feel on this particular one, do we want to table this for further discussion?
Because
Or do we
Maritza's
want
not
to-
here.
Well, we tabled it last time, why not table it
No,
again this
because
time?
Maritza's not here with the information also that we asked for before to make a informed decision about new businesses and, you know, that kind of stuff.
So we have to wait for Maritza, that's,
No, we
Right,
don't.
well-
Well, that's what we're bringing up right now. What I'm bringing up right now is how people are feeling. Do we want to
yes.
table that?
Yeah, I think
Or
so.
wait? Okay. Okay.
Just to
That's-
reiterate, if new business comes in and there's no statutes, provisions already enacted for the enforcement of it, regulations, we do not get involved
No, no, because
at this
ongoing.
point.
That would be good to
Okay,
know.
so
Yeah.
this can
That change. unless-
yes,
right.
it, for instance, where I talk about the cannabis. Now, again, the Board of Health does not get involved with the compliance efforts related to marijuana, cultivation, sales, etc.
Right.
That is handled by the Cannabis Control Commission, in the state. With the exceptions that I've been involved, we did get pulled in. But just to license the commercial kitchen, which would process some of the infused items, the gummies, the cakes.
Makes Yeah. That'd just be a hot mess altogether.
all sorts of goodies.
You're asking for a friend.
But
Oh, man.
that allowance. But again, in my experience, the Board of Health did not have specific rules pertaining to cultivation or sales
Yeah, of course.
of cannabis. So, should someone come to the Board of Health and ask, I'll give an example. Properties that can be rented, the vacation homes that you see on Airbnb,
Yeah.
right? We do not have any specific rules on that. Some do, but that would be allowable because we do not have any local regulations or have any reference to state, federal regulations that would require licensure, inspection, and approval. of these.
Of course.
businesses.
You certainly do.
So I just want to make sure we and we have covered all of our bases, so to speak, with reference to, again, the licensure and approval. And should there be new regulations that come up, and I'll revert back to the cannabis or the Airbnb, then those would have to be local regulations would
There's
have
a
to be
tax
constructed.
opportunity there for the Airbnb.
It's true, yes. These are discussions and hot points
Say
and again, topics that have come up,
Yep.
discussion, are on many people's radars, including boards of health.
Okay. All right, so, so we're in agreement, it's pretty much that we're gonna table the process of issuing permits to determine if this is to be amended. Someone wanna make a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. You wanna do the honors? Vote? Just
The
name our name.
motion,
Just name our names.
we'll
say
keep
yes.
it, Nicole Duffy,
Yes.
Daniel Grabowski,
Yep.
Jasmine Quinones,
Yes.
Paige Zutka.
Yes.
Getting better.
Getting better.
Awesome. Okay, agenda item number 10, discuss the input for usage of opioid funds. Have we found out how much
I
we
have,
can
I
work
have.
with? Oh, awesome.
I've done some research,
Okay,
and we are, I can say in the last couple of weeks to get clarification on the
Okay.
exact amounts.
awesome.
Again, the past, what's been done, and what needs to be done. So with that said, we are planning on having a meeting. We, myself, Charlie Blanchard, the interim
Yeah,
town manager, in conjunction with Adriana from HR and others, that they've had preliminary discussions with the previous town manager before my time. These discussions were enacted in lieu of knowing and waiting for these funds to come. And it was just brainstorming ideas, how to use these funds. And so, what came out of that, per Michael McCall, was two ideas to hire a social worker, someone with the experience to take on this. And what I understand, some agreed to that, others had their own ideas.
Sure.
Okay. But nonetheless, the total that I have found out that's paid through yearly increments up to 2026, up to 2031,
So 31.
31, that's correct, would be a total of $128,501.
What?
say that again?
And that's each year to.
No, that's the
That's
cumulative.
the whole
that's
thing.
not-
How much
That's
is
the whole
it?
thing.
What
Say it
is
again?
that, $1 a
Yeah,
day?
128,500.
Comes up to like $10,000, right? Didn't we just?
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time?
yeah,
yeah.
So
yeah.
26
Sounds
to
like
3.
right.
so
Yeah,
that's
and
exactly
there's a
right.
list of settlement
Cut it
payments
out.
to participating municipalities. I started with finding out that we had to sign the paperwork, which was done. Very important.
I'll tell you
That by the
something.
18th of April, or there would be
So
no,
they signed it.
yes, that was
Awesome.
taken care of.
Okay,
I
thank
do
you.
have documentation.
All right, thank you.
So with the allocation to municipalities, that's how it falls into 1 year payments, and then there's payments years 2 through 7, 6, and then after that payments 10, 15 years. So it's not all at once. That's the cumulative that we're totaling. I would have to say I got another total from somebody else. It was in with range with a discrepancy about $5,000 to $10,000, but that's what I have to go by.
So this is a one and done, and this is all we have right now, the 128?
That is the cumulative. That is the
That's
total.
all together.
That's all together that
So
will
it's
be provided.
$1,000 a year or less, like 900 or
Yeah,
something.
that's what I'm asking, yeah.
I went with
Yeah.
13 years because if you figure it's not going to start till
Yeah, I was
next
just making
year.
sure I heard that right.
So The 36.
I
oh,
do
one
have,
more.
I do have the allocation amounts, which are generalized in, I'll give you an example. The allocation from the Walgreens
Yeah.
funds came in on year one payment, $10,640.55. Years 2 to 7, $7,023.47.
Drops each.
Year 8 to 15, $10,640.55. And confuse a bit in another column, the total, this is from the state website, would be $137,905.81.
Oh, makes more sense of that. Yeah.
It's
So
not-
you can see the discrepancies
There's already
there,
discrepancy.
and you can take a look as to. I found that. The funds are made by different settlement cases and individuals. Johnson and Johnson, and we've got CVS,
Yeah.
Allergen, Teva, Teva.
This is the
These are the numbers
This is
with the
Walgreens.
expectations.
Oh, that's fine. Doesn't matter.
No, really.
Here's
That's all, that's not-
right.
We're not even
Here's
gonna.
the confusion.
We're not even
Well, they
gonna.
make it more confusing.
That is
That's
confusing.
cumulative, that's
Jane.
all together, so she breaks it down by the year. yeah.
Here's another breakdown, and
But it's still around 10 grand a year. Shorter, little.
yes.
Sometimes
Sure,
it's a
you're
little
absolutely
less,
right.
sometimes it's a
Kate.
little more.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's what we have presumed to be coming in to utilize.
Stickers, at least, in bulk,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah.
So that's good.
So it's open for discussion. I was hoping to,
might
as I'll be part of this.
They can't hire social
They
workers.
can hire them from an HR
No,
perspective.
no.
There's no one.
But what I wanted to bring to the table, as I was saying,
Lucky if you
when
can hire a
this,
babysitter.
when this
Yeah.
team meets, what I would like to share from what the board members would like, or their shared
Yeah.
interest. Again, to reiterate, this is not my special.
I think,
Speciality.
we were looking into the funds, first of all.
Right,
see
so
how
what we had to
got.
work with, yeah.
And now that we know, and I think Sue brought up a good one, is this something that's gonna, get implemented as of next year? So we're already looking into next year, or is the 10,000
start
for
date?
this year still
Something
hasn't
like
been out, and we still can use it, or?
When can we get cash in hand, in other words, yeah.
Oh, and that's a lot of work in
Cash.
itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
And
now
most
we gotta
grants.
fill out and.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
take a lot of our.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So
why-
yes, I mean,
That's why
it-
there's the question,
we
right?
know that goes directly to the municipality of town, not specifically for the Board of Health. So,
Of course it does.
our input is valuable to this, and I've been told that. And even when Mr. McCall was here, he asked me what my input, and I did agree with
Oh, well, not
that
knowing
decision.
the sum of money. That
not
makes
knowing the
sense.
sum,
Right,
just
right.
giving
Yeah.
quick, and then that really
Right.
resolved because he had parted.
Right,
with
and
me.
also
So-
that's too little money to hire any particular person.
So here we are with ideas. I think that meeting will take place in the next few weeks, been told, once we get everybody. So I'd like to bring something to the table,
Sure.
constructive from the Board of Health. Any ideas? Input?
It's to what, it's to how to use this money?
I think I'd do it in education.
You could see, I can give you some information, the agreements, the parameters that we are subject
That's what
to,
I'd like to know,
the
parameters
municipal
for that.
use. This is what I have, I'd like to share. Yeah, we do have to abide by that. There's a grand list.
Well, there's always good rules. Education's always a safe one, and because I don't think you can buy Narcan, you can't buy. There's some rules in the.
Yeah.
I don't believe you can. There's certain because that's already done by a different funding
Right,
agency.
so, yeah.
And
So,
intervention, treatment.
That would be
mental
a
health
good
treatment.
call. You could do a every year some form of a
Prevention.
a prevention fair or like a speaker, a guest speaker that would provide for the town, that type of thing. Sorry, that would be.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Get all that.
And I think that would also
Go to a lot of
connect.
Well,
connecting.
I
That would
think
actually
this is
really
like
blow well
the
into our
criteria as far
into
as
like
like, you know,
Like
We
what we're
can
doing
spend the
with
money on something,
mental
can't,
health
like,
and
you know,
opiates go together.
Go,
They
go
do
buy
at
Red
some
Sox
level.
tickets.
Like mental
you know,
health
they wanna make sure
resume,
that we're staying
you
within
know,
the
all
parameters, you know.
Okay,
That's
I-
why
And
I
resources.
reached
So
out
this is like,
to-
okay,
with
once
our-
you get
with
the
our
money,
limited-
this is kind of like,
specifically mine, but we want Emily and,
Yeah.
so we're limited, so.
And I think, you know,
this is
connecting with
highlighted
Harrington
too,
too,
oh,
yeah.
approved
you know, with
medication
the
for
care
services.
bus and mobile team.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean, maybe
when she-
some of that money gets allocated to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
May
overall,
I
it has
ask,
to be specific
if
to.
that's
If we don't do it
doable.
right now, could you
Yeah.
email me some ideas?
You
You
need
know,
to read this.
after you look
This
at
is
that,
a-
please
Can
take-
you email this?
Sure.
That's the-
You wanna take a copy?
Oh, okay.
Because again, what I took
Because
this right
this
from
is
the
what-
state
This, 'cause
website.
I am like, we're like leaving and it's like a zoo. I have like so many doctors. Would you mind just at least respond? I know
can
you're, I know
respond,
you're the
but,
most, the best for it. And I just,
I wish I had like a lot of time.
I know you don't have any, I'll do my best once.
Mass.gov. It's all on Mass.
And I can look at it and get to give you some ideas.
Yeah,
It's just
but
this
some of the
next-
provisions, you know, we
Yeah,
gotta talk
if
about.
I can get this
Send me
together.
that,
Yeah.
we're just looking at, it, right?
Yeah, because that's the most important.
Yeah.
So if they even meet the criteria for.
That's what,
for
yeah,
the funding.
because yeah.
So this is what I did all the time. It's very
Daniel,
unexciting.
the highlighted, what is that different
I
to
go
this?
for a
What's this
job.
compared to?
These were just my own ideas that I've heard of
Well,
and had
This is
ideas.
the criteria you're talking about. right?
So.
And onboarding.
So.
So these that you highlighted are the ideas that you had regarding like our,
Yeah,
what
I
our,
work with DMH.
what our parameters are? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes, these are.
Okay.
This was a breakdown of
But I'm sorry, just,
reporting requirements, harm reduction resources, but this is actually
Do what I can.
from the agreement for the
Okay. Okay,
the
so those are the
opioid-
parameters we're talking about.
yeah, the money.
Okay.
This is what it can be
So
used for.
what, can I have that? What is
Yeah.
this exactly?
This one's
But once you
guidance.
fill out what the
It's a
bill-
guidance
we
for
just
the
bill a couple of
use of the
yeah,
funds.
Okay, so there's
And we need
suggestions
to
pretty
find
much for
out,
that.
like, are the funds available now?
And
for
resources.
this
well, what,
year?
when or how they're distributed, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, how we
That's a
can
whole lot of
distribute the
stuff,
money
so.
and by when it's
If you
easy
want to take a
part
look
to
at that, or you want to
figure
take-
out
okay.
how we can bill out for it. There's a
Sure,
whole
and-
process
and,
to
you know,
offer
I think-
funds.
The team that will meet with, we're limited.
Yeah. There's a whole
From
process
town manager to HR and others.
Well,
This-
that's it.
Again,
It's
not
a-
our
it is a
specialty.
process.
It's
It's
a
a
big
lot.
process
Yeah.
Yeah.
to bill out
Is
for
Peg
ARPA
at all
funds.
involved in this particular grant?
Peg Dean?
Yeah.
No, because this is not a grant. This is the money that's
Well,
coming
this is
in.
cash, so.
This is-
Well, and there might be less rules because of that.
So it's going to be accepted where
Because
it
it's not-
goes.
it's
It's got to
not-
be
it's
held
not
for that
actual-
purpose.
it's actually
right?
a
It's gonna
money
be
drop.
something-
So
It has to be
I
within
wonder
that.
what the provisions were in order to have received the money.
That's
There
what I'm
must
saying.
have been by like data, statistical data, they
I-
calculated it out. I know that the town of Hyannis was uproar of how much they got because they got so little amount, about them as much as we did. 'Cause
Oh.
They gave a number. And
Here
that's-
is,
So this may be more of a dump, and you
again,
may not need to bill, there's probably no billable hours.
Yeah,
So we just have to come up with some,
what's just,
what the rules are in regards to, how we have to spend the money.
yeah.
But it's just, it's a little
I'm
much.
sorry, I just, yeah.
no, there's a lot to it. And these are
Yeah.
great questions, and I'm trying to provide. I have documentation again that this was done. This was done by
I'm glad you signed
Michael
it, so we
McCall,
got the money.
and
Yeah.
and yes,
that's the
and
first step.
attorneys,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
powers
that's all
of
that
of
matters.
attorneys. This is
Right.
all done.
What's up?
Emails confirming that
Good.
Okay.
individuals were contacted from the town manager's
So you
office.
just don't, when you have to act on it, that's probably the next big step is to know the time frame of when you actually have to start providing that service with that money. Because it might be 2024, we might have a little more time than we think, or it might be this year where we really do have to do
You're right,
something.
right.
Yeah.
As you can see here, what I provided, KP Law was involved
Okay,
for that purpose,
They should-
to get the legal
but it should be
clarification.
written on their.
And you know what I can do,
information.
because it seems, I know
Yeah.
this is very confusing, let me, email you a couple questions that you're gonna ask you,
Yeah, please.
and so, you know, it's
I-
very, very,
I'll get this to you all.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever I have saved.
yeah.
Oh,
And we'll just do some simple questions,
Okay,
like
then-
deadline,
I get-
billable,
Yeah.
line item.
Well, I don't think they're gonna have billables, I think it's a double. It's not an RFP.
Oh, go ahead, Dan.
Part of this education stuff, with it, I mean, we're trying to educate the opioid people themselves, or people who can help the opioid people. In other
Maybe we
words,
better let me in a nicer way.
would it be a good idea, I wanna know, maybe we can use a couple of these bucks. I'm not, maybe like have a seminar on this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
But-
that was the idea.
Education falls into
Yeah,
it.
Public?
maybe set it up somewhere where,
To
I mean,
educate the public? maybe?
just
Well, 100%. That was the goal.
put it out when people can just, maybe some of the people themselves who are
Right, and then have a lot of
might wanna come up to-
resources.
'cause sometimes, you know, I mean, it could be a last resort. That's just my idea. How this would be set up, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, and we
Okay,
can also connect with places like Spectrum
Because,
Health that are already
because,
here.
because I would definitely attend.
Sure,
And,
yeah.
I mean, like,
Well, yeah, exactly. yeah.
people who maybe, have someone come in that's educated on this, or
Yeah,
maybe,
so you-
or maybe yourselves or
so you're in
whatever.
the know. You're
Have
in the
some-
know.
Have something to say.
Exactly.
Yep.
What's available? What do we have?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
what's an opioid addiction? You know, people who are abusing.
What's an opioid and stuff like
Sure, I
this.
get
because
it.
I don't-
Yes,
I don't-
yes, that will
I-
fall
I
within.
really, I know what it does, but I don't really know what it is because I'm not a pill person or beyond. My choice of drug was alcohol.
Sure.
That I know about.
Yeah,
This I don't.
yeah, that's fair.
Other than it's destructive.
Sure.
Sure.
And you're not alone not knowing.
That's,
Oh,
I'll
this
be
one.
I'll be honest with you, I
Yeah.
couldn't help anybody, other
These
than
are
the fact
all-
that, you know, maybe, but you wanna,
So
you know,
each site gives
contact
you all the
someone like
direction
that.
to where to go
Yep.
to get
Knowledgeable.
information.
That's
Yeah,
all.
there's a lot to it. Exactly.
So-
So they identify these as strategies, and you can use, for instance, support people in treatment and recovery, and the ones that I looked at, harm reduction,
I might just collect all of it. With my
and then
office.
prevention, misuse of opioids, and implement
Just donate it to my
prevention.
office. This is what I do for
You
a
do?
living. We're
So you
done.
know the education
Just
highlighted.
let me- just
Well,
let
that's
me
the
try.
biggest
Perfect,
thing. Yeah, we could, that's
perfect.
where the money
We're
Good
done.
hands, all
Yeah, we
right,
just write me a
awesome.
check, 10 grand a year.
There you go, that's
We're
simple, we're done?
We met the
All right.
deliverables. So,
No, that's great that we have you, and you know,
No,
with
we
your
gotta stop.
expertise, that's what
Oh,
we're
no,
counting
no,
on.
I agree.
I'd love to
I
connect
agree
with
both
Spectrum.
of you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to connect
when I
with
first got
Spectrum.
in,
They have like a lot of
not-
annual
not-
events
not
that,
to-
That'd be
not
great.
anyway, 'cause
you
I
know,
can
maybe
use,
we could
you know,
donate,
not-
and you know what,
Well,
it's
this is
good
part
for
of it.
PR
Learn
for us
process.
too.
Oh, huge.
You know,
Right.
so I'd love
I'll
to
have
be able to
something for you
connect
to
the
do.
money with a way that's,
Definitely need
you know,
your
comes
job.
back to us.
Right. The other thought is to go to other towns locally that like what
You're
they're
needed
doing with
to,
their
'cause
money,
you give the
and
other
just to see if there's some kind of
But,
connection we could make that way
I don't
too.
wanna go to the past,
Yeah.
but you
Just
know, what I
saying.
mean,
Yeah,
we have to
you-
Because you'll,
you know,
because there is,
everyone
that
that's
can make
involved.
sense.
Absolutely.
I love
I
with this
would
kind of money. I love the education piece
I
of
think
it
it's
a lot,
really the
you know,
only-
and
yeah.
connecting
Oh, I'm sorry.
with other businesses.
No, my ideas would be, you know, if at all permissible, to have perhaps you, Jasmine, or you, Nicole, without any interference, to attend this meeting, or
Oh,
at
when is it?
least, you know, I would like to show up there with something concrete.
Daniel, when is it?
We don't know, but I can. It's in its planning stage. The interest is there. We're bringing in the people right now to address this because this sat idle for a bit. There was a bit of confusion where we were with all of this.
Right.
So with the assistance from Hannah from the town
Well, we didn't even know
manager's
what we were
office, she
working with.
dug in.
Oh, we didn't,
Right.
we our first question.
And she provided me with great information and clarification. All
Oh,
this
great.
If it is in
documentation
late
she sent.
June, I may be able to come back, so that might be that time.
Okay.
So realistically, it might be that long. So
And in June, I'm out for a period of time
Okay.
too, so
Then
we
I
can
can-
bounce
we
off
can
each
bounce
other.
off. I can-
Yeah,
No,
so,
just- Go ahead, Dan.
And another good thing about this, because my neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor, they told me I had a meeting tonight, because what do you guys discuss? And I told him, you know, some of this was on the opioid. And this is good because at least the town of Southbridge, or the Board of Health of the town of Southbridge, is actually looking into doing something.
right,
Because if you go on TV, there's always someone blaming someone, well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. So I told my neighbor, we're looking into it. He goes, why are you looking into it? And I said, Dave,
folks, have
don't
to
you, don't you hear about the ongoing opioid thing? At least
Yeah.
Southbridge is trying to do something about this, and
Yeah.
that's good. Because you actually got people, you know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we have right here on the agenda.
We're trying to address it.
There's plenty of
So-
ideas.
so we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. I just received, which I gave to the police department, the test kits for fentanyl. Those were available through the state to local departments. Granted, I only got 100. They're like the
Something.
take-home packets, but
Safer.
they felt that it was
Yeah.
would be a need and useful. Ideas, they're just emerging.
Yeah.
So they have packets to tell us if someone's,
Yes.
someone's using?
No, oh,
No,
no, you can
no,
test the
it's
drugs
yeah.
to,
Oh,
to
test the
specifically
drugs.
for the
That-
compound fentanyl. So if you
That's
have
beyond-
heroin,
Wow.
so it's not contaminated with fentanyl or pills, oxycodone or something, that it can be used for that.
Can it also
Save
be for
a life.
surfaces too? I think that they're,
It's-
yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's really like this.
You've seen them?
deadly.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Good point. So,
You know it.
All kinds of stuff going on.
And
Right.
So I guess the bottom line is, it's like, what can we do with the little bit of money?
No, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you just.
But
Something's
you
better
have
than
my email,
nothing,
so
you know?
as you
Yeah.
start, and I know this month, next month is totally, but after that, I'm hoping I can
Yeah,
lighten
and
up a
so
little.
we'll
And
figure out
hopefully
some good
you-
questions for you and to be part of it, and yeah, we'll go.
and certainly I'll keep you,
Okay,
everyone abreast of what
okay.
happened. So, good.
That was good.
All right,
Make some magic, right?
Do it,
try.
do what we do.
Yeah, okay. And, alright, and next one, okay, so going to the next thing, so agenda item number 11 is to discuss the ARPA funds project, the homeless shelter. So kind of like, again, what do we got to work with?
Not much now. Not much now. I attended an ARPA meeting and I
Yeah.
had some proposals ranging from equipment.
How'd that go?
Oh,
I bet you it was rough.
good.
To say
Took the
least.
words out of my mouth. It actually went well. Not everything was approved because we were also asking for a vehicle, which we do need, inspectional
For
departments for that can be used
Sure.
from the health department and the building. But that was not approved, and
Oh, the
I'll have
vehicle
to-
wasn't approved? Okay.
and so all in all, there was just a certain amount of left, close to $1 million, give or take. And by the time it got to the health department, there were others before me that I had some great ideas and were approved. So all in all, we had pre-approval, I should say, because again, ultimately it will go to the town council
Sure.
for full approval, which is happening on Monday.
So that's a Monday thing.
Yes, it's a Monday thing.
This coming Monday, it's happening?
Yeah, the ARPA, not just myself, all the pre-approvals
Yep.
from the approvals from
Yeah,
the committee.
but that's gonna
will
be
have to
this,
go.
that's coming this Monday.
That's
right?
coming on Monday.
Okay.
So
So what'd you get?
let's see.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's great. Well, what I got is I did have one item asking specifically for a printer that could be in our department.
That's
We
right,
don't
we
have it.
talked
We have a
about the
shared
printer,
one.
remember the printer?
So a commercial type printer, $4,000 to $5,000
Yep.
top of my head, with some signs that that proposal was
Oh, that
approved.
sign for outside, remember?
Those types of
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Maritza
Okay, great.
specifically wanted some different
Okay.
versions, which were great for that advertising,
Yeah.
education.
But no, not the live sign. Remember you were talking about the
That
electronic
sign is yes and no.
lights? Okay.
That's contingent upon having that approval, doing more research, seeing if there's grants for it.
Of course.
Others.
Sure.
So they're giving partial money for that and?
No, just a partial answer.
Okay.
Maybe that's a better one.
Okay.
We'll keep it kind of alive, but
Okay.
not a full no and not a full yes.
Ask Becky. She'd tell.
Which we were hoping for that. We thought that would be our best one. We wanted to see that one approved, but to no avail. Yeah, we're crossing our fingers, perhaps.
So you'll find
And
that
so-
on Monday?
Monday and the ARPA, I think they're going to have more meetings in case, let's just say if there's money left
Yeah,
available.
didn't you say like the ARPA monies, it's kind of like an ongoing kind of a process where you
That's
can kind of,
Yeah,
yeah, so that's
Yes,
ongoing anyway, so, okay.
but you know, many have with the proposals. Many have taken advantage of this amount of money and not taken advantage personally, but taken advantage of the utilization of the money, and the proposal got approved, and so the amount has just been
Dwindled, right? Yeah.
Right,
Praise
right, right.
God.
dwindled.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and so all in all, by the time I got there was. Not to say crumbs, but there's just a limited amount, and I could not get
what's
support
that
for.
about?
Well, at that point, it was not enough to support, the sign. I mean, questions did arise, particularly from Councilor Marquetti, that placement of it would be a distraction
Oh,
and
of course
it would be.
possibly adversely affect somebody driving, because we wanted to put it right out in front, the town hall. Somebody driving, or it would pose a hazard to them if they're looking and
Why
cause
am I
an
not
accident.
surprised that my kitty, like,
So next time,
Go
so we
the
went from,
messenger here, you know, I just was trying to discuss this, but with that said, gear and equipment and specifically, personal protective equipment that we
Okay.
both need, we're okayed in the
Oh, that's good to hear.
Okay. So, not only the health department, this is inspectional officers that, and
That
all
use
the
it as
teams,
well, of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
Okay.
We've got to get back with
You guys go
what we
hand in
need.
hand.
So basically the shared
Flash.
stuff was approved.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Does that sum it up?
Well, the sign was the cost of 50,000 plus, give or take,
Yeah, it's a lot of money,
install,
yeah. It is.
so, it is what it is. Again, I'm not saying it's fully dead.
Of course.
Others have told me it's not dead yet, in terms of, if there's a possibility, we'll invest our time, and continue on. So, that's the conclusion to the ARPA. Now, by the time other proposals were finished, including, inspection, there's nothing left. So it was
Alright.
good that we attended that meeting with our proposals, the positive. Because I believe if we had waited, money's gone.
So no to the homeless shelter, yes
so
to the principal.
line item number 11 is.
Yes, and we presuming that there would have been more again when we
Yeah.
started off on this
Yeah.
to even discuss $1 million, and it just went quick. Okay.
Well, so much for those hotel vouchers, Nicole.
And it is what it is. We were hoping for more, but we did get this
Okay.
thing.
Well, and you know what, you might want to make mention to them, just to put that out there, you know, like all these abandoned buildings and things like this, the whole, people can't afford to fix things and let it go, and, you know, or the hoarding thing, that goes hand in hand, and there's gonna be more of that,
Oh, there is.
so.
That's why having a plan and protecting is the
Right,
thing.
that's.
Like to make sure, yeah.
Right,
That's the top on our agenda.
Understood. Well
Yeah.
taken. Yes,
That
I
touches on a
certainly-
lot of things, not just, and it's the big,
And it's
You
just
know?
the appropriation of funds and finding the money is obviously the
right,
challenge.
right.
Yeah.
But those buildings are our responsibility, and whether you
And
slice it or
was it
dice
used
it.
last year? That 180, and probably not. So
Yeah,
Agreed.
every year we should be
Agreed.
using it.
Agreed. As
Yeah.
we discussed,
Yeah.
you know, with demolition,
Yep.
it's not
Not
cheap.
that I'm into tearing everything down,
No,
but things
and everything.
are blight,
No,
yes.
no. But if
Right.
needed,
Yes.
but everything,
Well,
yeah.
and rehab is even more.
Right.
yeah,
And but finding the parties that are willing,
you're right, right.
another challenge.
I know that's a big challenge, I know
It
Andy
is a
used to say
challenge,
that,
yeah.
that was a big challenge to finding the parties for that.
And
But yeah, but yeah, just, it all goes hand in hand.
it does. It does.
Righty,
Thank you.
So that is the update on
thank you,
ARPA.
yep,
Uh,
so number 11
You
is
got
dissolved.
Completely.
Dissolved.
It's better than nothing.
When that printer's humming,
I
you'll be
agree.
happy.
Mm-hmm,
We do need that, but as
That's
I
the
said, the
inspections too, right?
excuse me?
Isn't that part of inspections too? The printer?
it's
It's like-
shared,
Huh?
Well, we have the
Shared.
room over here, which we have the big printer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's shared, and it causes a bit of
I
confusion,
see.
and we have confidential information.
yeah,
Yes.
Related that we
Yeah.
do not want to print, and sometimes
yeah,
Oh, I
not
see.
purposely, but it's
Okay.
just a
so
lot
we
of
want to keep that,
confidential, yeah.
and also to enhance productivity
Oh,
and efficiency within the department.
I'm just telling me I agree.
Right, and but it was the equipment, the lack of that I found when I first came here. I was very surprised, and to see the again the lack of equipment needed for field equipment, personal protective equipment, and I suppose there just was no emphasis on those type of.
Have you talked to the fire department? Because they have stored quite a bit of that, my husband said. Just so
Yes
you-
and no to a degree. You know, I always
'Cause he
feel
said
like
that they have
it'd be
quite a,
great.
just, it might be a good resource to
Ask, yeah.
chat with
Thank you.
them.
Absolutely,
And I know they
You might be surprised,
actually
you might have some.
they did get awarded. I think it was 100,000 for PPE
Mhm.
specific the ones the masks and the
Right, right,
oxygen.
that's
yeah,
different. This is actually,
Yes.
they have even more, basic stuff for exposure and for,
Yeah.
so just a thought, I
we-
mean,
yeah, thank
maybe I'll be
you.
expired
Thank you.
for all I know.
But we have a list that we accrued and we all felt really needed and also felt this would be a prime opportunity to use those funds when we get approval.
yeah,
So
good.
I'll end it on a positive.
Damn it, oh.
All right, well, it just actually goes back to you either way, because agenda item number 12 is health director's announcements.
I think I have touched on many that we've had
Right, one goes
discussions.
into the other, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
other than that, we are just gearing up for summer inspections, which I've identified we'll probably have to take on the tobacco. But certainly everything from Title V, the septics, the housing we've had, witnessed in the last 2 or 3 weeks, a need for spring cleanup. I've issued many orders to correct to individuals with rubbish and mixed trash in their yards. Embankments by the river, residences with just high levels of accumulation in backyards, side yards. And the list continues, and every day enforcement measures have to be taken place. So we're finding areas that have extreme high levels, moderate, but levels unacceptable non-compliance that we have to address and cite.
Have a majority of those been complaints or things you just kind of come across?
We come across.
Okay,
We're seeing
okay.
usually as we're actually addressing other complaints and being in the field.
You find something else, okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Alrighty. Chairman announcements, number 13. I did want, just because this kind of rolls into that anyway, actually when I was driving, I was cutting through by the airport, whatever, over here, and I'm seeing a lot of trash accumulating over there, so if
The
you could kind
airport?
of check that out, yeah. I was,
I don't know the name of it, but the road that parallels the fence.
I don't know if that's called
Oh,
like
the road.
Barefoot Road or so, it's some sort of barefoot
Long,
road
it's
or
really
something.
long.
What is it? You got Barefoot Road, and then you have a,
It's kind of like almost right before that cross section by Barefoot Road. So if you're coming up, if you're cutting up through Pleasant Street and you're going up all the way around, and you're just trying to like go all the way down towards like 169, it's that intersection right there. There's like, I think it's Barefoot Road right there.
Okay.
It's right over here. It's almost like a whole bunch of trash is like left
On
over
the
there.
sides
that's
of
what
the
the solar
road.
panels are, right?
No, it's before the solar panels. If you just take one good ride down there,
I
you'll
will.
see it's right
I
there.
will. Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You got Airport Road, you got Barefoot Road and Pleasant Street. Those are the only
Those
two
are the only
streets.
ones?
Yeah, it's right before
I'll go
Barefoot
up
Road.
there,
It's like
take
that
a
little
ride.
intersection.
I
where
know,
you
I
make that
know what
turn.
you're talking about.
Yeah, it's that little
Can't miss
curve.
that.
Well,
Yeah.
what you're saying, Jared, is that you've seen an increase of trash,
There's a bunch of trash right
Over the
right in
window,
that
yeah.
section right over there. It's
like litter out the window.
like I was
litter.
trying to like look over there. I don't know if that's I don't know if that was like a huge like a smaller mattress or like a bed sheet thing or whatever. And there's a whole, but it's almost like where this, people go in there, they get some cans and everything when they're stopping over there partying, whatever,
That's
and
what,
leave it there.
you got a
and,
big
yeah.
problem with that.
Yeah.
The young
Yeah.
people, that's what they do their partying. Eventually,
Yeah.
the road around the airport's gonna go all the way around.
Yeah.
That area where Nicole's talking about is gonna be one road. That's phase 2 of the airport planning, but that's not gonna come for another year. But yeah, that's
That
the problem
section,
we have.
yeah.
The
Okay.
police was supposed to patrol that area, cause
Yeah.
that's an increase. According to the last airport meeting that we had, that's supposed to be patrolled all the time. Why
Okay.
they stopped, I don't know.
Okay.
Because the airport commissioner also mentioned that there's a lot of activity going on up there.
Oh yeah, you could tell like someone's.
And I presume that's
Some stuff there, yeah.
town-owned land?
Oh,
all
yeah.
adjacent
Yeah,
all
that is,
around
yeah,
the road?
that's Southbridge,
yeah,
yeah, that's
absolutely.
Southbridge area. So if you just take that main, like, in other words, if you're you're going from Pleasant Street. If you're cutting through, just to go down to meet 169, you're gonna see it.
Okay.
You're gonna see right in that little
Fair
curve.
enough. We'll
That'd
take a
be
field
great.
trip out there.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, you can't miss it, yeah.
Just go straight.
Yeah,
We'll take care of it.
awesome. All right,
Oh, in lots of ways.
and I think that's all I have for now. Is, anyone else? Dan?
Well, I'll be there, April 29th.
Oh, awesome, I'll see you there.
I mean, I'm gonna be there early to help out with Emily.
Thank you.
and
Great, thank you.
Whoever else is
Much
gonna be.
appreciated.
I come every year.
So this way, we can, help with the tables, help with the setup. Just
Yep.
pretty much doing the bulwark, so,
Yep.
Oh, I go out there and pick up trash.
Oh, no, I'm doing that too, but I'm talking about before that, so
Yeah.
because.
Oh, yeah, much appreciated. I think we're gearing up for 7:30. We had discussed that.
Well, that's
7:30
when they
Oh,
set
to me, that's
it up, yeah.
7:30.
to get the setup.
Yeah.
Right, oh, yeah.
To the tents.
Yeah,
Right.
it starts at
Cheers.
8:30.
It's at 8:30.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay,
Awesome.
fantastic.
okay, thank you.
I have nothing,
Anything?
just that I won't be here.
Oh,
next
no, I
time.
understand,
But if
completely
you, if you
understand.
need a quorum, I can certainly be, if it's legal by a Zoom or a phone, I'd certainly.
I think if we do need to do by Zoom, it's gonna be an all or nothing kind of deal, but I'll
I
double
think
check
you're
that.
right, yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
think it has to be an all or
Okay.
nothing deal,
My
because we've
apologies.
done one of those before, remember that, Dan, when we did
Yeah,
like a Zoom?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'll check into that, but that's, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Anything wanna
all.
share? Nothing?
Thank you.
Janice, nothing? Alrighty, well, I think, do we wanna schedule for the next meeting? I'm looking at what I'm available to. My God, it's gonna be May already, it's crazy. Okay,
It sure feels
Um,
like May. It's so
what
long.
works better for people, May 11th or May 18th?
I'm available at any time, you know that.
Either way? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can make it any day of the week.
So the 11th is the second Thursday of the month, you know what I mean, but
You
it's
wanna keep it on
18th too if you
schedule, in
want.
other words, every second Tuesday?
I'm completely
Thursday?
fine either way. I don't know what works. Paige, what works better for you?
Well, I won't be here that time, but if you
Oh,
do
that's
the
right.
next time, that would be great on the 8th, because I can be for that, because
Make a note
just
of
so,
that.
just
Okay,
so you,
awesome.
but I don't know if the rest of the team,
You
whatever
know
you
what, I'm
guys
gonna make
want.
note of that right now.
Okay,
just
I'm,
so-
I'll put it in just 10, because I have to actually be back in town, so.
May 11th, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, May 11th or the 18th. You wanna do May 11th? Is that good?
Sure, that's good.
All right, May 11th. And Paige, I'm gonna put you in here.
All right, unless something goes amiss.
Yeah, oh, well, I wish you the best and
Well, thank you
everything,
very much. You guys
Yeah.
are so kind.
but I
Sorry
appreciate
for
your.
this inconvenience.
No, not at all.
What a
Not
pain,
at all.
but
We're very
anyway.
flexible, no. All right, so May 11th
Just
at
think
6
of the next
p.m.
cost.
Okay. You're gonna make a motion to
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
second? Wanna do the roll call?
Roll call. Nicole Duffy,
Yes.
Jasmine Quinones,
Yeah.
Dan Grabowski,
Yes.
Paige Schutzka. I did that, I'm just kidding.
Just say should and does. You can say
Should duck.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay, as of 7:38 p.m., meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Have a good night, guys.
Paige, I
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.